Hello and welcome to Amma, Agriculture Made Attractive. My name is Salimo, the voice of agriculture, the queen of agri-tours, and this is Get to Know Salimo a Little More. And it's story time! Alright, so today we're going to have a conversation, or we're going to talk about how I ended up in agriculture while I was actually active in media, and people would tell that would have been my career path. Why did I switch? How did I switch? Here to answer all those questions. So in case you have more questions out of what I will answer, please go ahead, ask in the comment section. We might have a part 2 of this if there are more questions. Are we ready? All right, let's go. I transitioned from electrical engineering in 2018. So after my diploma in electrical engineering, I joined Africa Digital Media Institute, ADMI, to do journalism and multimedia. And then COVID hit, and we went to study at home. We were the very first bunch of study at home through ADMI. So we used to use eTeams, and we are there, not eTeams, it's Teams. eTeams is for KRA. Teams. So we would just join the classes from wherever you are. So in the process of me working, I met 2 people who took me to a production, and I was there just volunteering because I can. While I was there volunteering, that is how I joined Abel Mutua Production as the production manager. Are we together? So in the process of me working under Abel Mutua, I met a number of people, and Abel was open. I remember one day, oh my God, I will never forget this. In the new year, because I met Abel somewhere in, I honestly can't remember them. Yes, July 31st. I remember every time before we get to our birthday month, we say happy anniversary to each other. Yeah, so that was on 31st. And then, so we went ahead. I worked with Abel from July all the way to date. In the process of me working with him, yeah, this part is going to be very interesting. So in the process of me working with him, I remember him one time, we were doing our new year resolutions. We were seated, it's a new year meeting for the team Wakurugenzi, and we were there having a meeting. And Abel was very calm with everyone, and then gets to me and tells me, Salimo, if by next year, a time like this, when we are doing our next meeting, you will still be seated here working only for me, I am officially going to fire you so that you get to make sure you're using your potential right. Those were his words. I honestly felt it was very cruel of him to tell me so, because I was doing a lot for him, man. I was his production manager, I was his merchandise customer service, I was Judy's production manager. I was working so much. I mean, why would you think that it didn't make sense for me? But I think that was a very good move from him. I really appreciate him for what he did. I am so grateful that he actually pushed me beyond what I knew. All right. So in the process of me thinking, what do I do now? Because that means I only have an year. I only have 12 months for me to figure out life. And I have to have proven that I didn't rush because the year was ending and I don't want him to fire me. So in the process, ADMI still on the same time was doing something we call, then when we were still students, they had a program that was, they can outsource some job for you when you're still studying. So I remember we had a whole journey of understanding how to come up with short clips that are going to guide. So then the client was Doshi, the Chumala Doshi. So you remember Chumala Doshi has been sexualized for so long, but now they wanted the Doshi name. Chuma, you can continue calling it the way you want, but can we have Doshi to mean a good thing? So I remember I was put in the category of people who are going to go through that journey. So in the process, I get to do so Doshi then was supposed to mean amazing, incredible, everything. So you would say, my mother is mama yangu ni Doshi because she's incredible, she's amazing, she's great. Those, if you go to my TikTok page or my Facebook or my Instagram, you will find all those clips. Actually, let me put one here. It's now out there, the talk of town in everyone's Doshi. Doshi is a new vocabulary to mean incredible, reliable, and amazing. Used in a sentence, my parents are incredible. Wao ni doshi. I had an amazing day. Siku yangu ilikuwa doshi. You are a reliable friend. Wewe ni doshi. Reporting for ADMI News at 1. My name is Sarah Njoroge. Karibu ADMI idhaa ya Kiswahili, na leo nitakujuza mengi kuhusu msamiati mpya kwa jina doshi. Doshi ni neno la kumaanisha kitu ama mtu wa ajabu, kushangaza na kuaminika. Kimombo incredible, amazing and reliable. Mfano katika sentensi, siku yangu ilikuwa doshi. Mamangu ni wa kuaminika. Yeye ni doshi. Niite mwanahabari doshi. Nikiripotia ADMI alasiri, jina langu ni Sarah Njoroge. Great, umeona. So that is what we were doing. Who was the official influencer? Yes, Professor Hamo was the official influencer. So I meet Professor Hamo for our brand immense meeting, and we are there having conversations. And then when the year was ending, Professor Hamo was given. Then Professor Hamo was working for Hot 96 as the co-host of Jeff Koinange on the breakfast show. Then in the process, I get to meet him right after his breakfast show, and he comes and we are having this conversation and we are talking, and then he gets into it and we start having conversations here and there, and then he tells me, by the way, there's a show I'm starting on Hot. It's called the Rush on Hot. How about you come and manage my socials during that show? And I was like, why not? So I went to the show every Sunday. My job was to manage the social media accounts for him during the show. So I would post during the show. I would just make sure that it is active until the show ends, and then we go home. What I didn't know this was the strategic journey for who I am today. And so this is where the story begins. So I meet a lady who was then doing the social media platform, social media for Hot 96. What I didn't know was that lady who was doing it was actually the radio manager. So me, I'm there. I used to ask her questions. I used to tell her things. I remember even one time I told her, can I help you produce the show? Because I knew she was also the producer of this show. So yeah, why not? And in the process, I now was working for her more, and then I was volunteering to just help her make sure the show is doing well. And because I understand producing, but then I don't understand radio producing, so here she is. She helped me and understand what producing is. So at some point, it was time for Hamo to leave the station. But the show had not ended. So we needed to continue with the show even as Hamo leaves. So the band would continue playing for the next 5 Sundays. It was supposed to be 7, Hamo came for 2, and then the 5, Hamo didn't come. So Hamo was not present because he had already left the station, but the show had continued. Let me tell you, we started having guest host, and I remember Cynthia. Cynthia was the lady who was doing the production and the social media. I didn't know she was the head of radio. So Cynthia tells me, take over, you'll be the producer of this show. And I took over and I started producing that show. And because I had understood what to do, how to go about things, where to be, where, I really did the job. Wow. 5 Sundays later, that was a whole month and 1 week. And I didn't know what to do after that. But I remember right before the 5th Sunday, I told God, I pray that you open a door for me in this same workplace. I really want to continue here. I hope I get an opportunity beyond who I am right now and beyond what I am doing, because I don't want this show to end and then I end with it. I hope I don't end there. My production and my producing skills do not end here. And during the last Sunday, so normally it was going live on Facebook and or live on YouTube and then live on radio. So for radio it's audio, but now for TV, for Facebook and YouTube, we needed a cameraman who was coming to record, and all the angles and everything, whatever went on Facebook was really recorded on camera. This time around, the person who comes in was Bensu. You guys know Uncle Bensu. So Uncle Bensu comes in and I'm like, I know this guy. Yes, I know this guy from radio, but I feel like I know this guy somewhere else. So talking later is when I realized, when I was doing my electrical engineering, I had gone to take a marathon in Dakaine, and Bensu and my brother were friends, and so I met Bensu there. So that is when I met Bensu. Now here we are, and Bensu is the cameraman for the day that day. So I am actually the producer of the show that is ending today. Bensu is the cameraman, and then Bensu is a host of a show called The Drive on Hot. I am like, I need to do something. So I tell Bensu, by the way, unajua, this is the last time niko hapa, show inaisha. Naisa volunteer ni wa produce show yenu. Ako like, oh, that's a good idea. Hata hatunanga producer na hatuwezi mind kukomenta kujua kuproduce radio. And I was like, why not? Since we produce you understand a few things about producing a radio show. And I was like, yeah, I do actually, and I think I can do something. So na nimekuwa nikiwasikiza, I think I can do something. I was like, okay, sawa, nitajua venye nitaongea na boss lady, tuone kama tutaweza. Na unajua hatukuji job, so it was still past COVID, but still watu hawako wanakuja job. So nikaambiwa, so Bensu nikamwambia mimi si mind hata kuproduce nikiwa home, me I have no problem. And let me tell you, I actually did not have a problem producing from home, because my job is to listen and tweet and do all those things. And then niwape show prep. I do, you know what a show, what, okay, so let me explain, because I think I am imagining all of you understand show, radio show. So a radio show starts with a show prep where you understand, like now for the drive on the Hot 96 drive, there was a Monday, which was Mapenzi Monday, Tuesday Takatifu, Uradi Wednesday, Thursday was TBT, and Friday was, where am I forgetting Friday? Oh, come on. Nimesahau jina ya Friday, but ni sawa, mnikumbushe, najua mlikuwa kwa hiyo show. So Monday, come up with a show prep where we're going to talk about love, find a topic, and let's discuss that. Same to Tuesday Takatifu. What topic are we going? What are the verses of the day? What is the word of the day? Uradi. What is the Uradi business show? The Uradi business name. The Uradi business something else. All that. So that is what you would come up. Oh, Friday was happy hour. Happy hour. Yes. So this is what generally that show was all about. So I decided, okay, I'm going to do my best and produce this show. And I produced the show from home. Then it got to a point where they realized I'm a Christian and I love the gospel and I love God, and I think you can contribute a little bit into Tuesday Takatifu. Interestingly, there's a day or two when Bensu was not around, I would co-host with Igunza. Igunza was not around, I would co-host with Bensu. Now this is COVID has passed and people are now starting to go back to the offices, and now I have a chance to be going to work once a week, and I chose Tuesday because I knew Tuesday was a good day. I would even be able to open them. If Gunza opened the mic, I would have something to say. For money, for love, well, I've been single all my life. What are you telling me? I don't even have anything to say about love, man. I have nothing. Happy Aiwa, me happy, atuna, we are not friends. So I knew Tuesday was the best time for me. So how did we go into it? So tuende kasi. Tuesday Takatifu imefika, and we are now doing the show, and now everything else I'm doing from home. Tuesday tu, hizo masaa tu ndio naingia tu, tunaingia show 3 to 7 narudi nyumbani. That was it. Progressively tukienda hivyo. Now one day, Equity Bank decides they want to do something about agriculture in English, and they not only want to do Smart Farm on Citizen TV, they also want to do something on that same thing, but now in radio. Who was the choice for it? I know the sun just came, but trust me, I really want this angle. So do not worry if this angle looks the way it looks. I am happy, I am okay with it. All right? I hope you guys can, because it's literally burning me, but I love it this way. I honestly do anyway. So Hot 96, they want to do some Smart Farm, but on radio. All right, so Cindy is called by Vinny and they're told we want to do this and this, and come on, look for someone. And I was there preparing. I have never forgotten, I was preparing for Tuesday Takatifu. I can remember the way I was in the mirror. I had worn the Tuesday Takatifu t-shirt. I have never forgotten that day, because that is the day that changed my life. Other than next to the there are a few days that really changed, because by the end of the day, let me tell you, by the end of the day, when it comes to purpose and destiny, you have to make very many decisions, very many life-changing decisions on the way. So this day comes and I was there. Actually, I was wearing my earrings and I see the call, Cynthia Mwangi. Hello, hi, how are you? And everything, and tells me, I want you to come on. When you come to the office today, please pass by my desk. I want you to talk to you about a show that is starting by Equity Bank on agriculture. It's about farmers, so I need you to come. We explain, and I want you to be on it. And now this time it's job, so it's work. I was like, oh my God. I had already prepared on what do I say, because I thought it's an interview I'm going to or something. But I still maintained my Tuesday Takatifu t-shirt and went ahead, because I was literally going for Tuesday Takatifu before that came. So we went ahead, sat down with Cynthia, had a conversation. Then I told Cynthia, by the way, my dad is an agricultural extension officer for so many years, currently working for the county government of Kiambu in the agricultural Ministry of Agriculture. So I think I can get a balance between now and 6 months from now. I would have found a balance. Balance you will have to find as soon as now, because you're starting the job immediately. We go to Vinny stamps it, and it's a job. When am I going on air? That was on Tuesday. I'm going on air on Monday. Let me tell you guys, baptism by fire. Because Equity had already paid and I needed to start the report had to start coming in on that Monday. Nyi wote mnajua Mwalimu Moshwe. So Mwalimu Moshwe sends in a few English and Swahili episodes alikuwa amefanya, and I am here trying to voice them. Let me tell you, my voice was not good. It was not good for radio. I had to do so much practice. I was running, mimi nilikuwa nakimbia. I don't know. I really do not know, because I had never thought of practicing for radio. I had never thought, by the way. Here I was just running, and I was told, no, calm down, stop rushing the sentence, read the sentence properly, commas and full stops. And I was like, oh my God. Let me tell you, I struggled. Then I struggled with R and L. I struggled with ambassador and ambassador. I struggled with and they were all struggles, but you had to go on air. Today I listened to myself on the first few episodes I did, and I'm like, God, is this your child though? No, that's not me. But that was you. And literally Equity paid with that voice. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, interesting. All right. So I start off in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Hello and welcome to Gold Dust. My name is Sarah Njoroge. And then we say it, and then I stopped saying hello and welcome. I starting with a quote, like, for example, there was a time when the apple fell, only Newton. When the apple fell, only Newton asked why. Welcome to Gold Dust. My name is Sarah Njoroge. And then I tell you about apples. Then I was talking about the Wambogo apples. I talked to you about Wambogo apples. Just when I am about to tell you the money in apples, I cut it and tell you. And tomorrow we talk about the money and the economic value of apple farming. That and more on the next episode of Gold Dust. My name is Sarah Njoroge. Amma ukipenda Salimo wa kilimo. Let me tell you, it was so interesting.
I've seen the semi-translucent leaves curling in their own lettuce way, never having noticed that actually what makes a lettuce is a curly kale. Welcome to Gold Dust. My name is Sarah Njoroge. The harvesting process of kale involves the careful selection of outer ones, because that way if farmers ensure the continued growth of the plant while maintaining its flavor and quality. Whether harvested by hand or with tools, proper timing and technique are crucial for preserving the distinct characteristics that makes the kale a beloved and versatile ingredient in culinary creations. After harvesting, post-harvest management of the produce is very crucial, considering that kales are some of the vegetables with the shortest shelf life. On the next episode of Gold Dust, we understand the value addition of skuma wiki. My name is Sarah Njoroge. Gold Dust.
Let me tell you guys, I used to listen to myself kitambo. Now here I am listening to myself and I'm like, hiyo ni English yangu. I think I've grown eloquency. Alafu pia hizo words venye naziweka, I'm like, God, let me tell you, the growth is real. And here we are, the green light. I honestly still feel Goldust was one of those shows that I enjoyed doing every day. Cyprian and Baraza would tell you, because they're the people who would record me, they would tell you I really enjoyed that show. 6 months in, and let me tell you guys, I was at this point, I stopped a little and I was like, what am I doing? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why do I have to do this? I had so many questions of, that's good, you have done it, you have the voice, you're on radio, what impact are you making to the society? Because let me tell you, I have a problem with, am I making impact? If not, then why am I doing that? Because I was not born to pay bills and die. There's more to life than just paying bills and all. There's more to it, the impact, purpose, and destiny. What is that I need to do for me, for this? What am I supposed to do? And I discovered that 20 out of the 20 farmers, out of the 20 farmers I interviewed, only 2 or 3 were young people, and I felt that was a very small percentage when it comes to agriculture. And I asked myself, what can I do? What can be done? How can I make agriculture attractive to the young people? What can I do? And I remembered in 2014, Dad came home from US. They had gone for an agricultural venture and conference, and came home and told me, I want to make agriculture attractive. Then Dad had so many responsibilities on his shoulders. That dream it remained as a vision. Now this time I remember it, and I went home and I told Dad, what were you talking about when you said agriculture made attractive? 2014 was when I had left high school, so I was definitely the one at home. So anytime Dad would think about something, I would be the one na receive to your information. Remember, mimi nilikuwa ile mwaka ya mnakaa mwaka mzima home ndio mwende university. You remember, like mnakaa mwaka mzima hadi pale September ndio mjoin university. So that was the time. So Dad told me so much. So I remember there was so much, but was I paying attention? Not as much, but I can't remember. So I go back home and I tell Dad, tell me about this. What did you have in mind? What did you want to do? And I told God, guide me, let me fulfill this dream for Dad. And I started making agriculture attractive, even on Goldust. So how did I go about it? So I sat down with myself and said, on Monday, I will be introducing the farmer, telling people about everything about that product. So I'll tell people about the farmer who is farming apples. So Wambogo apples, and then Kate, who is the farmer of that apple. Then on Tuesday, I will introduce how do you farm this apple, which is the right place to farm this apple, how are you supposed to identify this apple. I'll tell you all the characteristics and everything about this apple. On Wednesday, because I was matching everything with the drive show, because I wanted to have discussions every time. Once show yangu imeingia, ilikuwa inaingia 5:10, ikiingia 5:15, ikiingia hivi mimi na Bensu na Igunza tunaketi hapo, tuna have conversation ya hiyo kitu, especially on Wednesday, because we are going to talk about the money in apples. We talk about it, na kwa sababu siku anaongea kuhusu pesa, we have that conversation. And then on Thursday, I'll tell you about the benefits, the nini, all those things, name it. And then on Friday, we will end up on where can you get this apple? How can you start farming this apple? That is the whole catalog of how I would tell the stories of agriculture. And I felt that was a good way of, instead of just deciding align everything in 1 week, let people know this week we are talking about this and this, let it be seen, let it be aligned, let people know leo nikifungulia radio nitasoma kitu kuhusu money in whatever that product was. And that is how I started making agriculture attractive. Young people also started accepting and realizing, oh wait, so I can also be part of agriculture. So I can also join the agricultural journey. And they started coming in, they started joining in. There's a ndege passing. I wish ingeina my side nione ndege ya wapi. Kumbe tunapitanga hapa tukikuja ku land. I have never looked down, but again, hatujafika Miss J land Kenya mchana. That's why I think I have no idea. because by the way, we have never landed mchana, right? Yeah, there's no one day I landed back mchana. It has always been at night, and you can only see actually this road. Anyway, fast forward, the expressway. So now people started calling me, oh, mi nafanya agriculture, unaweza ni cover. And I was like, wow, finally young people are starting to accept that this is something they are doing. Finally young people are starting to, and I was so happy that thing that came in me, and I said, pause, what are you doing? That was a holy anger in me that was starting to pursue purpose. It was no longer about the money. It was now about purpose. And so I was so strategic about who I host. I was strategic about which farm I go. I was strategic about how I tell the story. I was very strategic. And this strategic positioning was really because I wanted to help young people join agriculture, make agriculture a career. Right? So 2021, 22, 23. And I end the year, 2024 comes, and the year starts, and I am excited. This time, I'm like, I'm crossing the year with my passport ready. And I crossed the year with my passport ready. And in January, I left the country to Tanzania for a field visit by Rexone. Rexone is a breeding company that breeds for Africa, breeding in Africa for Africa, purely vegetables. And they had called us to just go and see where they are breeding, how they breed them, and how they grow. And we were happy. Mercy of Gropact Propagation Center in Kitale are the people who had gone with me. And I was so excited to just be because it was an affirmation that I am officially, I said I'm crossing over with my passport ready, and my passport introduced me to the year. And how did it introduce? I didn't go out because of production. I didn't go out because of producing. I didn't go out because of events. I went out because of agriculture. I was like, man, God, thank you for confirming that this is where we are heading to. I have transitioned, and this is where we are. Let me tell you, this is the part that you don't get to see. You get to see me online wearing an Amma t-shirt, excited and all. But let me take you back a little. So Gold Dust grew to a Gold Dust term of the day, where I would do a Gold Dust term of the day on the social medias. Then I started writing articles. Then from there, I started doing Gold Dust Agri Space on Twitter every Monday. Let me tell you guys, I was passionate, and I had rested into this is my passion, and this is what I am called to do. I will pursue it, and I will fulfill it to the end. Jan, Feb, March comes, and I'm like, where? Things are changing, policies are changing, and I felt that it was time for me to exit from Royal Media. I had not done all in agriculture, but I think I had done enough for the company. This is why, because I felt I was now focusing on agriculture, but then there are other things I was called to do and I was supposed to be doing which were not aligned to agriculture. So I felt it's okay for me to leave, and instead of fighting with the bosses and all. And I honestly just went ahead, placed my resignation letter on the email, and Cynthia accepted, Vinny accepted, and it was time. The HR called me, they accepted. It was time for me to leave the Royal Media Services. Yes, and Royal Media Services, we left. We entered into a journey of agribusiness. Entrepreneur journey is not a joke. Agripreneurship is more not a joke. Let me tell you guys. Kiliniramba, kiliniramba. Kuniramba, kiliniramba. Hiyo sitakudanganya. I used to cry. Guy, nireke idemwire. In April, I think April was I wouldn't call it my worst month, but I would call it my most emotional month. April, I cried. April, things were going south. I was starting to feel, God, am I supposed to be here? Am I supposed to do this? I remember I used to call Judy Bimkuru. I used to call her. Namwambia, Mom, mimi sijui nasikiaje. And then it was so hard for me to call home because Dad believed this was a good decision. My brothers believed this was a good decision. I believed it. So I didn't want them to start telling me, because their words have really great impact in my life. So I didn't want them to start speaking something different in whatever words they said. So I needed to maintain their words in me. I felt this is just the crossover is a bit strugglers, uta struggle kidogo, and but just be. So the person who got all the cries and all the is Mokami Maina and Judy Mutua. Let me tell you, those two ladies held my hand. I used to cry. I used to wake up in the morning. I don't know what is happening. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I have so much to do. I don't know where to start. I'm overwhelmed. I don't have people. Guy, Judy, Bimkuru, God bless you. God bless you for me, please. You and all your generations and family, God bless you. Mukami, where? Thanks, babe. Thank you guys. You two held my hand. Like, nilikuwa na feel I'm shattered. My body is leaving, every part of me is, I need to go. I started feeling, the only thing I never questioned was, did I make the right decision? Funny enough, by then I never questioned, was I supposed to? That never happened. Then May came and I did my first agri tour. Ladies and gentlemen, whoa, that was the day everything was stamped like this. Salimo, Wakilimo, the queen of agri tours, the voice of agriculture. Kinde. We are now cruising nicely. Cruising nicely it was. And April, May comes and we did our first tour. Then June, and we did our second tour, and I think I was now breathing. Then while at it, someone called the Ghanaian farmer. The Ghanaian farmer is all the way from Ghana, Enyonam. Enyonam comes and want to tour Kenya and tells me, I want you to be the person who helps me tour Kenya. I was like, ooh, tushafika hapo. I get a team and we tour Kenya. And then officially my global trotter journey begins right after Enyonam came. That's a story for another day. Now you know how I ended up in agriculture, how the Holy Younger came, and how purpose and destiny began. Are you excited? Because I am so happy. Oh my God. I am so excited because this story is going to be such a good story. I want to just tell my story of how I ended up here, how everything has been, how I feel, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Get to know Salimo a little more and just understand what has it been, where are we heading to. Jua imekuja. I hope haijaharibu picha, but I hope everything is fine. All right, that's it. That's it, guys. So that's how I ended up here. My name is Salimo. I used to call myself Salimo Wakilimo. I honestly am switching that to Salimo, just Salimo, the voice of agriculture, the queen of agri-tours, because I'm starting to realize that Salimo Wakilimo, it's good. It aligns with everything, but I feel I'm a global agricultural voice of agriculture. I'm a global voice of agriculture, and Wakilimo might be a little bit East Africanized. So I need to just make sure that we are not only Africanizing or East Africanizing this, let's take it global. So my name is Salimo, the voice of agriculture, the queen of agri-tours. And this is Amma, Agriculture Made Attractive, and this episode was Get to Know Salimo a Little More. Excited because we are ready to go to the next one. I can't wait to tell you guys how the journey of agri-tours began and how we've been able to go to other countries around Africa to just do the same. Oh, well, I'm so happy. That was a good episode. Yay. All right, if you have any question around that, please go ahead and ask. I'll be happy to answer on the next episode. For now, bye. Remember to subscribe. See you on the next episode of either Ade with the Farmer or Get to Know.